What's going on, everybody? Man, this has been a great couple of days for the Florida Gators. And I think everyone else, I don't think I'm the only one that's got to say it. This has been a great couple of days for the Florida Gators. And I know I'm waiting on some people to come in. I know a bunch of people are going to jump in on the live. And, there might be a little bit of a lag. It is Friday night. I think a lot of people try to stream on Friday night. So I hope everybody makes it in. I hope everybody has a good time. We're just going to talk Florida Gator sports. Such a big couple of days. Look, I mean, it started off with Marcus Stokes, the 4-star quarterback. And listen, I watched this guy's highlights. He is a perfect fit for Billy Napier's system. And I am super excited about him. And it seems like he wanted to be a Florida Gator. It seemed like that is his dream school. So it's somebody that wants to come to the Florida Gators, and he is in love with the Florida Gators. So you know this dude's going to pour his heart and soul into the Florida Gators whenever he gets to the University of Florida. And then you got Treyon Webb, back-to-back commits on Thursday, just yesterday. And Treyon Webb, everyone knows Treyon Webb. Listen, this dude is a stud running back in the 2023 class. Everyone was wanting this guy. Penn State was wanting this guy. And the bad thing is, I feel bad for Penn State. I have no hard feelings against Penn State. Penn State, I feel bad for them because, man, we stole 2 of their guys. Because Marcus Stokes was committed to Penn State for a while. And Treyon Webb came right in, and I should have saw the writing on the wall whenever I saw both of them at Penn State, but they were also talking about Florida as well. So Treyon Webb, the one cool thing I saw about Treyon Webb, he kept the receipts on people who were bashing him, saying, everyone thought that he was going to go to Penn State. This dude went after some people on Twitter, calling him out, saying that, Treyon Webb, we didn't want him and stuff like that. And, this guy committed. His highlight tape is unbelievable. Has a mean stiff arm. If you watch my reaction video, I mean, this dude's a stud running back, a perfect fit for an SEC running back, in my opinion. Dude runs physical. Is he the fastest running back you're ever going to see? No, but you got to think about this. Whenever he comes into the University of Florida, he'll be, a true freshman. Who's going to be sitting right there, right by him? A 1-2 tandem. Travis Etienne's brother, Trevor Etienne. So you got Etienne right there. So, I mean, you have Etienne and Webb. What a 1-2 punch that the Florida Gators are going to have for years to come. And they are perfect for Billy Napier's system. And then you got Marcus Stokes, who is perfect for Billy Napier's system. Billy Napier is going after guys that he wants, that fits his system, that fits his narrative. And I was super excited yesterday. And then we get Eugene Wilson committing to the University of Florida, 3 for 3 on the commits that really I wasn't expecting Marcus Stokes, but I was hoping Treyon Webb. But then you get Eugene Wilson, a stud wide receiver, the 147th ranked player in the 2023 class, who I've seen the comparisons of people in my chats and in my comments. Brandon Powell. If you don't know who Brandon Powell is, look him up. The University of Florida. Maybe some of the younger guys don't know who that is. Brandon Powell was a stud. Kadarius Toney. A lot of people know who he is. Kadarius Toney was a stud. And then I saw someone else. I think someone else was putting on there. Tavon Austin, West Virginia, old wide receiver. Man, this dude is compared to so many electric players because Eugene Wilson is that electric wide receiver. Fast. I mean, got speed, quickness. Now, the one guy that the Florida Gators did not land was Peter Woods. About an hour ago, he committed to Clemson, so he's out of conference. And I'm surprised he went to Clemson. And Clemson's done well in the recruiting process. LSU got a couple of guys. I know today they got a 5-star wide receiver today. So, but the Florida Gators, in the past 2 days have knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. People who are making fun of the Florida Gators and all that, you haven't heard that now. Florida Gators are in the 20s in the team rankings. look, I know I've said this before. I don't really worry about team rankings until it gets closer to December, early National Signing Day. That's when you need to start looking at rankings. But, right now, Florida, I believe Billy Napier hasn't even coached a game yet. They're ahead of in the recruiting process where I thought they would be. I didn't think they would be up here, this quick, this early. But Billy Napier is making a name for himself with these recruits, and it's great to see. It's fun to see. I think it brings a different vibe. It's some electricity. So I'm going to go into the comments. I could talk for days. I want to hear from everyone in the comments. If you have a question, let me know in the comments. But, man, I am super excited. I think you could tell in my voice. You could probably tell in my last video that I had whenever the Florida Gators landed Eugene Wilson. And stud wide receiver. Now, I think I just saw someone say Aiden Mizzel could be, committing tonight. Let me see. UF Shorts. What's up, buddy? UF Shorts. I think Mizell might be committing tonight. Not sure, though. Now, I've seen Aiden Mizell on social media talking about a commitment could come early. That was yesterday, so I was surprised that he hasn't done it yet. But let me tell you something. I love Eugene Wilson. Aiden Mizell is the guy that I've been wanting as the wide receiver for the Florida Gators. That's the number one option, in my opinion. I think Aiden Mizell, if he's not the fastest wide receiver in the 2023 class, he is one of the fastest wide receivers. Dude glides. He looks like a gazelle. He can catch. He's got speed. He runs great routes. I really like Aiden Mizell. That's the one guy that, in my eyes, I got two guys that I've been thinking that the Florida Gators could land and have a great opportunity to land. Cormany Mclean, everyone knows, the number 3 overall player in the 2023 class. Cormany Mclean is a stud corner. He's going to be a stud corner. And then you got Aiden Mizell. That's the other guy that I believe Aiden Mizell is the 115th ranked player in the 2023 class. But, I felt like that was a little low. I felt like he should be up a little higher and easily in the top 100. But Aiden Mizell is a stud wide receiver. I think he's going to be a stud wide receiver wherever he goes. I hope it's Florida, but, that dude's something special. He's had some comps to Jerry Jeudy. And I really think that speaks highly because Jerry Jeudy was a stud at Alabama. And I really think Aiden Mizell could be that, next dog as a wide receiver, especially in the 2023 class. But I want to go to some of the comments and see what people think. Like I said, I could talk for days, but I really want to hear what people have to say. The reason why I like doing this live, yes, I love talking about it, but I like hearing from everyone. I like, I wish I could do a call-in show. I tried to work it out with, there was a Discord app I tried to use. That thing was all over the place, but I'm going to try a different way. Hopefully people can, maybe we, have a 30-second, answering kind of thing. But once I get that figured out, we can. Because now I haven't made a time yet. I want to do lives every Friday. Might be in the afternoon time because my Fridays are going to start getting freed up. So, have like a every Friday live at a certain time so everyone knows that time and maybe have like a little back and forth, a questionnaire and we can have a little discussion. So, but as of right now, I'm getting to the comments. Let's see. I know Penn State not happy. Penn State might not be. I know they got another commit today. I think they got another 4-star commit. So, yeah, they're not happy, but, this is the recruiting game. The recruiting game is brutal. When I went to go see Billy Napier, whenever he talked, he said recruiting is a cutthroat game. It really is. It's always been like that. Even with the NIL stuff now, recruiting is always going to be cutthroat. So that's to be expected. And getting a commitment to flip to the University of Florida with your head coach not even coaching a game yet is huge. It's big. It just speaks volume to what these players think of Billy Napier. So let's see. I'm a diehard dog fan. Just dropped in to see how y'all are doing. I don't do this anytime on other team sites, but Blake does a great job for Florida sports. And I will leave y'all with this. Go Dogs. Listen, I appreciate you stopping in. Even though as a diehard dog fan, no, I don't hold no animosity. I respect everyone except for Florida State fans. No, I'm not going to do that. I won't do that. But I have too many Florida State fans or Florida State friends, let's just say. So let's see. Better get out of here, Mickey. A lot of Gator PP out in here. Go Gators. Let's see. UF Shorts has a question. What do you think about Darquavius Sorey? You know, I've always said when somebody pushes their commitment back, it's never a good sign, especially when they were leaning toward a certain team. And it seemed like Sorey was leaning toward Florida, pushed his commitment back. I hope we can land Sorey. I think he's a really good wide receiver. You know, I can't remember where he is ranked. I really like Eugene Wilson, and I definitely like Aiden Mizzel. Those are the two guys that I really like. And, you know, I've seen a little bit on Sorey, but whenever he pushed his commitment back, I kind of thought that might be, you know, I mean, same thing happened with Jaden Rashada. You know, it seemed like Jaden Rashada was a lock, pushed his commitment back, ended up going in a different direction. You know, it seemed like he was with Florida the entire time. So I've always said if somebody pushes their commitment back, it's never a good sign if they were leaning toward you. Let's see. Dude, Clemson got a stud in Peter Woods. Billy don't need to give up on him. You know, well, yeah, Peter Woods is a stud. You know, 5-star, big defensive lineman. But, yeah, Peter Woods is going to be a hoss, you know, at the next level. But, you know, it just goes to show you, you know, recruiting can go either way. Now, I really thought Peter Woods, if he didn't go to Florida, which I thought Florida was going to be a long shot, in my opinion, I really thought Alabama was going to land him. I was kind of, you know, shocked that Clemson landed him. Even though some of the, I guess, later projections had him going to Clemson, but I just thought Alabama was just going to land him. They always land guys like Peter Woods, these big physical, you know, big linemen. So, you know, I really thought, you know, he was going to go that route, but went to Clemson. You know, yeah, you don't ever give up on a commit, even though they're committed to Clemson. Unless they go out and say, hey, I'm completely shut down. I don't want to hear from nobody else. That might be a different story. I don't know if he said that yet. But listen, if he starts taking other visits, hey, it's not out of the question that you can flip him. Florida's already flipped one commit already. So it's never out of the question. Let's see. Cormany is the one UF really need. I really like Cormany Mclean. When I look at his highlights, just he's got the mentality, he's got the physical tools like Jalen Ramsey from Florida State. I hate saying Florida State, but you know, he's got those tools, and you know, he can talk, but he backs it up as well. And that's what I like about Cormany Mclean, and that's what you need from a corner. You need that dog in them. You know, they're on an island. One of the toughest positions you can play in football is the cornerback position. And I really think Cormany Mclean is going to be the next great corner. Wherever he goes, I hope it's Florida. But, you know, that's the one Florida really needs. Think about him and Sharif Denson. You know, Sharif Denson has great highlights. Great tape on him. But Cormany Mclean is a step above, you know, really any cornerback in the 23 class. Let's see. Any thoughts on Lucas Simmons' commitment on Monday? I know he's doing it on the 11th, and any thoughts on it? I'm going to say I hope he comes to Florida, but for some reason I know everybody wants him. I just don't think he's going to come to Florida, in my opinion. I haven't heard as much that I need to be safe with. You know, Cormany Mclean to me is because I've heard so much and how he really loves Florida. And how much the Florida Gators have talked about him. And it just seems like there's something there. I don't know if Lucas Simmons is – I don't have that feeling like I do with Cormany Mclean. But, you know, we'll see. Anything can shock me, you know. I mean, Eugene Wilson, I kind of thought the Florida Gators were going to land him, but you never know. But I kept hearing good things out of Eugene Wilson and from the Florida Gators. And it seems like social media is a powerful network. You know, Twitter, you got Instagram. It just seems like you can kind of piece together where a lot of these players are going to go unless they just hide it very well. And Eugene Wilson, it was a big get, and I was still surprised because you just never know. But you know, I kept hearing a lot, and I kept waiting all day for the Eugene Wilson. I just didn't know what time he was going to commit. But you know, I just can't express how much I was just stoked about that. I hurried up and made a video as soon as it happened. Let's see. They say it's going to be a great month. So who do you see us landing? Shoot, I'm Cormany Mclean and Aiden Mizzel. Those are my two right now. If we can land them up, get them swiped up, I am all day in it with them. Let's see. Sorry is a crystal ball to UF. Hey, now I will say, Searcy, who we just got, a defensive lineman, he was crystal ball to Florida State. Unless it's one guy, there's one guy, I can't remember his name. That dude gets like 9 out of 10 correct. Those crystal balls, they're not always accurate, but I hope he chooses Florida. But man, those crystal balls can fool you. Trayon Webb, it was said that he kind of put some misinformation out there thinking that he was going to Penn State. He was crystal balled to Penn State and ended up going to Florida. So those crystal balls, I try not to pay too much attention to them because they fool me. They have gotten me so many times. Let's see. What's up, dog food? How y'all doing? Oh, God. Oh, no. Here we go. Let's see. The Gators will win the East this year, I think. Georgia is not that great this year. The thing about Georgia, and y'all know I call it like it is, Georgia taking a step down on defense. I've said this multiple times, but they're actually going to be better on offense. They have a 1-2 punch at the tight end position that nobody else in the country has, and really they have a third tight end as well. But they got the two Eric Gilbert, and then they have Brock Bowers, two stud tight ends. That's going to be difficult for linebackers, safeties to really cover unless you have a physical corner that you can cover those guys. But Georgia, I have them predicted 12-0, and the reason why I have them in a schedule prediction 12-0 is because really their schedule is very favorable. Their schedule is like unbelievably favorable. If you want to look, if you look at the SEC schedules this upcoming season, Georgia has one of the easiest ones. I feel so bad for Arkansas. I don't have a whole lot of Arkansas fans that are subscribed to me, but Arkansas probably has the worst schedule out of the SEC, to me, easily. They could actually, they're going to be a pretty good team. They bring back their quarterback, Jefferson, but man, I just feel bad for that schedule. Florida's got a rough schedule as well, but Arkansas, they play like Liberty and Cincinnati the first couple of games out of conference, and then they go into conference, and the in-conference schedule is just brutal for them. But Florida does have a rough schedule. Playing Utah, then Kentucky back to back the first two games. It's going to be rough for the Florida Gators first two games, especially for a first-year head coach. But let's see. It's probably Steve Wiltfong. That's who it is. Thank you, UF Shorts. Thank you. I couldn't remember. Dude, that dude gets like 9 out of 10 right. Like, I couldn't remember. I knew it was like almost like, was it like a wolf frog or something? But yeah, that dude gets them right. Now, if he's got the players going to a certain school, that's the guy you need to really pay attention to. That dude, even with the craziness of recruiting right now, he's still, I don't know what he knows. I don't know how he does it, but he's pretty good. Let's see. I said Georgia will lose. Let's see. Georgia lose 3 games. Let's see. Chris 3. Who? I'll give you 1, but 3. Let's see. Dude, Brock Bowers is the best tight end in college football. I really think, and that came from Adam Lindell. Let me tell you something. Brock Bowers could have came out as a true freshman, and I don't know if he would have been. I don't know who another tight end would have been taken above him, especially this past NFL draft. I'm trying to think of another tight end, but Brock Bowers is just, that dude didn't look like a true freshman. Like, I mean, there's some guys that it's like, I get, they have to be a certain age, or they, come out of college, or they have to, I guess, be 3 years in college or something like that. Whatever the rules are, you have to be a certain age, 21 or 20 or 21. But some guys need to have an exception. He's one of them. Let's see. Now, I saw somebody said Georgia losing 3 games. Look, when I made my schedule prediction for Georgia has a couple of games that And I know I got some bad hate for some of the people from Georgia fans. That Oregon game, don't sleep on Oregon. Look, I get it. It's Bo Nix at quarterback for Oregon. But you got Dan Lanning, the former Georgia Bulldogs defensive coordinator. So he's got to have a little bit of understanding, a little bit of knowledge of those players that he used to coach against, especially on the defensive side, or he coached with. But, I mean, you got some, stud defensive linemen still coming back for Georgia. I think Dan Lanning, at least that'll give him a leg up on knowing how to attack Georgia's defense. Because Georgia's defense is not going to be what it was last year. I'm not going to say I would bet the house on that, but there's no way that Georgia's defense is going to be as dominant as they were last year. It just doesn't happen, especially in college football. That doesn't happen. And, Georgia's still going to be good, but I could see Oregon giving them a run the first game. And listen, if they played Oregon in the middle of the season, it probably wouldn't be much of a game. But since it's that first game, the first game jitters, listen, Bo Nix is familiar with Georgia. He's familiar playing with the SEC teams. Dan Lanning's used to coaching in the SEC. And Oregon still has a couple of good players. And by the way, Oregon actually did land which I was not shocked. Oregon did land Dante Moore, the 5-star quarterback in the 23 class. So, Dan Lanning can recruit, I found out. And he's done pretty well at Oregon, especially at recruiting. But look, I don't sleep on the Oregon game, the first game for Georgia. That's just my opinion. And later on in the year, Kentucky. Now, 9-3. I would say, unless something drastic happened, you never know. But the least that it would be, in my opinion, would be 10-2. But I just see Georgia winning a close one to Oregon, and they're winning a close one against Kentucky. Because when they play Oregon, I believe it's a neutral field, which I think it's in Georgia still. So, it's still in Atlanta or whatever it's at. So it's not really neutral. It's still in Georgia. But then you have Kentucky. I can't remember if that's home or away. But those two are going to be the toughest matchups for me, unless Tennessee does something this year. And, Tennessee is that question mark to me. Whenever I did Florida schedule prediction, Tennessee was a tough one for me. There's going to be a lot of SEC teams that are going to be tough this year. Even South Carolina, they bring in Spencer Rattler. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see. I love Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett will be 25 before the season ends. The dude's like a modern day Chris Winkie. I don't know if anybody remembers who he is. Maybe I'm a little older. Chris Winkie used to play for Florida State. I believe he was 31 whenever he ended up leaving Florida State. And then Brandon Weeden was 28 from Oklahoma State. That's where Stetson Bennett's at to me, because he's not that old, but compared to college players, he's like a grandpa, just about. But Stetson Bennett, he does things that you just need to get by. He's not going to win a game by himself. But what Georgia needs Stetson Bennett to do is just be a game manager. And I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me on that. He just doesn't need to screw up. He's the Alex Smith of college football. So let's see. I think people forgot that Ricky Pearsall transferred to UF. Dude, I was so excited when Ricky Pearsall transferred from Arizona State to Florida. And dude, I really think the wide receiver core for the Florida Gators is going to be, I guess, slept on a little bit. And if Anthony Richardson can if he can play like he did in the spring game and he can develop, dude, watch out. Especially those receivers for Florida. I just think, because I don't never hear nothing. You hear all wide receivers everywhere else, but nobody's ever talking about Florida. Trent Whitamore. That dude is a stud wide receiver. He got a little banged up last year, but he's gonna, I think, have a great year. Xavier Henderson, watch out for him. He was a 4-star receiver coming out of high school, so watch out for him as well. But Ricky Pearsall was a huge get for the Florida Gators. He reminds you of almost Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Adam Thielen, wears the same number, but the dude gets open, runs great routes. He will probably be the best route runner on the Florida Gators, unless somebody else steps it up this year. But Ricky Pearsall, what I've seen from him, he did great for Arizona State. Let's see right here. Let's go back into the comments. Let's see. Matthew Walker must get players remaining for Florida. Let's see. McLean, LeBlanc, Norman, Andy, Jean, Jordan, Castell, and Jakeem Jackson. Let's see. I haven't been paying attention to the Jordan Castell and Jakeem Jackson. Haven't seen anything on them yet. I've kind of been paying attention to Webb, Wilson. Never even looked at Marcus Stokes whenever we got him. Whenever Florida got him, I took a little time to watch his tape, and I was really impressed with what I saw from Marcus Stokes, and then realized Marcus Stokes only had 1 year of being a starter, especially at Nice, in one of the higher classifications in the state of Florida, where the state of Florida has great talent. He's always playing up against Division I players just about each week. And, I was impressed by what I saw, because I think he can develop on that, and I think he'll get better his senior year. The 22 touchdowns, the 9 interception ratio from Marcus Stokes. I don't like that at the high school level, but look, he accounted for over 25 I think it was 30 touchdowns, over 3,000 yards, all purpose. But the dude had a great season, led Nice to a 9-4 record. And I think he can develop, and he's perfect for Billy Napier's offense. But, I'm going to look at Matthew Walker. I'm going to look at Jordan Castell and Jakeem Jackson a little. Whenever I'm done with this live, I'm going to take a look at them. Let's see. Eric has played like 10 snaps in college. The thing about Eric Gilbert, he has, but I remember when Florida, actually, he was committed. I don't know if anybody remembers this. Eric Gilbert was actually committed at Florida for a short bit before he ended up flipping to Georgia. Eric Gilbert was a 5-star tight end coming out of high school. You don't really see that a whole lot. There's not many 5-star tight ends. The dude's potential is up there. In the spring game, he balled out in the spring game. I don't believe Brock Bowers played, but I know Eric Gilbert did. And the dude is talented. Yeah, he hasn't played much. I don't really know the whole story of what happened at LSU. I was excited when Florida had him for a little bit, and then he ended up flipping, because I was like, okay, now Florida's got a tight end, a big tight end, because he's a big target. But, he hasn't played much in college. So, of course, you have to see, especially on film. But in my opinion, I just see his potential, and I've seen him play. Dude's a stud, in my opinion. Let's see. Give us LeBlanc and Cormany, and the defense going to be legendary in a couple years. That is from Sports C. Man, let me tell you something. If we can keep bulking up on that defense like Billy Napier's been doing, especially in this 23 class, man, I'm really liking the defense. We've seen the Florida Gators defense in the past couple years have not been, living up to the Florida Gators defense like it has been. It's almost, well, it didn't even flip-flop this year. It seemed like we always had, a great offense, and the defense was lacking. But then the defense was so good, and then the offense wasn't there. I remember the defense was so good, and then we had Appleby, the transfer. I can't remember where he transferred from, but at quarterback, and that was just a disaster. But, man, I'm telling you, I do like what Billy Napier has done in this class, especially on the defensive side. And, man, if they can lock up Cormany Mclean, that defense, especially in the secondary, is going to be really good. I'm still waiting on a big-time linebacker to commit to the Florida Gators. That's what I want to start seeing. I want to see some linebackers coming in and shoot. That's one thing the Florida Gators are going to be lacking this upcoming season is at the linebacker position. But let's see what we got right here. Gerald Patz. Yeah, he had some issues, but he's good to go, and he's going to ball out. Talking about Eric Gilbert. Let's see. Somewhat, but I'm hyped up also. Let's see. Nick Saban having a bad day watching a 5-star in-state defensive line pick Clemson and watching a 4-star cornerback flip. Yes, I think that's who Penn State got. They flipped Alabama's commit. That I was trying to remember who Penn State got today. And, man, I tell you, Yeah, it wasn't a good day for for Alabama fans. Yeah, they saw a guy in Peter Woods that if you look at him, it just looks like Alabama. Alabama gets those big linemen. You know, they always get them, and he just looked the Alabama part, in my opinion, just big, physical, and 5-star. And he chose Clemson, which is a shock to me, but that's the way it goes. I don't know what Dabo Swinney's doing over there, but they had a good June, and now I guess they're they're starting to have a good July. When you land a 5-star player, especially the one of Peter Woods' caliber, that's a good day for you. But look, yes, I know Florida is not getting 5-star players, but listen, these are high 4-star players the Florida Gators have gotten over the past couple of days. I'm happy with that. Listen, I didn't think Peter Woods was going to come to Florida anyways. I just noticed it and I was like, okay, I'll post it, but it didn't shock me. So listen, these 3 guys that the Florida Gators got over the past couple of days, I'm happy. If you can go 3 out of 4 in 2 days like the Florida Gators just got and the talent they got, listen, that's a win. I will take that. I don't care who the coach is. You can be a great recruiter. 3 out of 4, that's next level recruiting right there that Billy Napier did. I don't know if anybody has seen on social media. I wonder if anybody's attacking Billy Napier today. I doubt it. Let's see. Let's make sure Georgia doesn't repeat this year with an upset. Yeah, going back to Georgia, I think they're going to have a good year, but we'll have to see. I know a lot of projections on their defensive line. They got like 2 defensive linemen that could go in the first round. So, and then they have Kylie Ringo. Still, they brought that cornerback back, but that defense ain't going to be the same as what it was. But we'll have to see. Let's see. Crazy anime gamer Charlie Ward is the oldest Heisman Trophy winner ever. Stetson Bennett is the luckiest national champion ever playing with that defense and running game. I really think Georgia Bulldog fans will probably agree. I'm really not gonna lie. The Georgia fans that I've talked to, they like Stetson Bennett, but I think a lot of people could. I would even agree with that because listen, you hand it off to one of those stud running backs that they had last year. James Cook. Oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank on the other running back they had. Listen, they had a couple of good stud running backs back there, and they had a really good offensive line. And then, with that defense was giving up like 6 points per game, and when it came down to it, yes, Stetson Bennett, he won the national championship. He got the job done. He limited the mistakes. He did make one mistake, fumbled, give Alabama life, but, Stetson Bennett was fortunate to have that team like he had last year. And listen, nobody's expecting Stetson Bennett to go first, second. I don't even know if he'll get drafted whenever he goes out of college. If he was expecting to be drafted, he would have left Georgia last year. But listen, he's got it made where he's at. He's still going to have – I think he's got even better weapons this year. Even though his wide receiver left from last year, it transferred to Alabama. But look, Stetson Bennett is in a great situation for himself. That's just my opinion. I really don't think Georgia Bulldog fans will disagree. A couple that I know have kind of mimicked that. So, and it's no offense to them. I think a lot of people, when you call a quarterback a game manager, a lot of people get, I guess offended. You're calling my quarterback a game manager. That's disrespectful. Listen, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL as a game manager. They made a career out of it. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think Stetson Bennett will be that guy in the NFL making a career out of it, though. See, Jordan Castell is heavily favored to UF. Okay, I really like that. Hey, listen, bringing in some more. Listen, I knew it was probably going to be a good month for the Florida Gators, but look, over the past week, Florida went from 7 commits or 8 commits to 12, and getting Searcy, the defensive lineman, getting him was a shock to me. So, getting that's 2 out of the 4, that the Florida Gators have gotten over the past week that I was surprised. Searcy and then Stokes, the quarterback that was committed to Penn State. That was a shock to me. But listen, I hope it keeps rolling this July. I mean, it's been a great first of the month for the Florida Gators. Let's see. I am talking about Alabama versus. Oh wait a minute. Oh, gotta go back a little bit. I didn't know. Comments are popping up. I gotta take a look. Let's see. Gilbert had 400 yards at LSU. He started in 6 or 7 games. That's SEC homer. What's going on? If I'm not mistaken, I thought he got hurt at LSU. I don't know how long he played or how he even favored at LSU. I think he got hurt, and then I think he was mad at LSU for something, but I don't really know the whole story on that. So don't take what I say and take it running with it. But I think there was something up with that. Let's see. Henderson shouldn't start. I'm sorry. He's just not that good. Hey, I mean, let's see. The wide receiving core has already slept on. Want to see some Marcus Burke. Man, let me tell you something. Fishing football. I was bummed, and I was I was kind of pissed whenever I heard Marcus Burke was released from Florida. Whenever they had those 4 or 3 Florida Gators released, and I saw Marcus Burke's name, I was like, dude, this dude's a 4-star wide receiver. Like, what happened? Like, this dude had to get in trouble or something. But I guess they came out and that was a mistake. And I was like, okay, but it was a bad look there for a minute because I was like, man, that's not cool, But yeah, I'm ready for Marcus Burke to make that leap as well. Let's see, from Adam Lindell, Henderson shouldn't start. I'm sorry, he's just not that good. With Whitmore and then Pearson, I think Henderson could be that 3rd, 4th receiver for the Florida Gators, which is no knock because I really think the Florida Gators are going to have a really good wide receiving core. Henderson, I think with him, the thing about Henderson, what I like, I like speed. I love physicality. I love like Trayon Webb, a physical running back, but man, speed kills, and you need speed. You just need that deep threat that keeps that defense honest. You need those corners to back up. You need those safeties to back up. Henderson could take the top off of it. He's one of the faster wide receivers the Florida Gators got. That's just what I like about him. I like that deep play threat that he's got. I don't even know if I don't know if they have him starting. I have to look back at the depth chart. Let's see. What's up, Pate? Pate Productions. Let's see. Georgia will be good. I don't care who wins in the SEC championship, despite both of them. Let's see. You think we will get Will Norman? I have to. Let's see. Oh, Adam Lindell thinks Will Norman is a lock. Okay. Hey, I'm still waiting for somebody to say Cormany Mclean is a lock. Even though I think the chances of getting him for Florida is about 75%, but I tell you what, I really wish somebody put a lock on him. Let's see. Tyler Elliott, I'm late. Hey, buddy, you're still joining the chat. You're here, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. On paper, our offense does not look special. Besides AR, man, I get that. On paper, yes. Hold on. I can talk for days and then throat starts to dry up. On paper, I get that, but I think there's just so much that there's just question marks everywhere, and the running back position, people still are Montrell Johnson, which I think Montrell Johnson is going to be a really good running back for the Florida Gators. I think he's going to be slept on. I think he had a really good career or a really good stint at Louisiana. That's why Billy Napier wanted him over and for his offense because he's familiar with it. And then you got Naquan Wright right behind him. And, AR-15, is going to be the centerpiece of the whole offense. Defense has some questions, but, man, let me tell you something. I get the offense, with all the questions, but Trent Whitamore is a good wide receiver. I know he's not a household name. He's not going to be, he's not up there in the draft boards or nothing like that. But, I really like Trent Whitamore. Fraziers, I really like Fraziers. Pearson coming from Arizona State. I really like him. If him and AR-15 can get a connection and get that going, especially when the fall comes, man, that could be a special connection. Pearsall's not going to blow the top off of it, but I think he was a great addition for the Florida Gators. A lot of people were wanting Pearsall whenever he put his name in the transfer portal. So let's see. Don't forget Shorter. Yeah, I forget about Justin Shorter. Coming back, he had a scary moment in the UCF bowl game. Justin Shorter coming back. Listen, Justin Shorter to me almost looks like a tight end. He's built like like a brick. Like this dude is stacked. But listen, Justin Shorter coming back. I always forget about him. So that's that other wide receiver for the Florida Gators. Is he a speedster? No. But let me tell you something. Big body receiver, and Anthony Richardson is going to be familiar with coming back. So I knew I was forgetting one. I couldn't remember who it was. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, where's my head at tonight? It's been a long day for me. Let's see. We're getting Will Norman. That's another one. Hey, that's like two that I've seen so far. And I've noticed that in my comment section, if I watch the videos, if somebody says somebody's, especially multiple times, it could come to fruition. And I like the chances on that. So let's see. Is Billy Napier the guy? Think he makes it 3 seasons. Brady Evans. So let's get into that. What Billy Napier has done so far in recruiting and what he's done for the University of Florida, I really think he's done a great job, but we haven't seen it on the field yet. And I think a lot of people need to see it. And listen, to validate it, I get that. Whenever Florida hired Billy Napier, I'm not going to hide behind it. I was skeptical. But here's the thing about me. I'm always skeptical of somebody coming in new because I don't know them, even if it's to my own family. Listen, I'm always skeptical of somebody because you never know. But what Billy Napier showed, and it seems like he's doing what he promised and what he said he would do. He's a relentless hard worker in recruiting, and it's showing. So he's not lying about that. He has done a great job in recruiting, and I take it back to what he did with the transfer portal, and getting some of the kids back that that did decommit, like Shamar James. People forget about that, and that was a big get for the Florida Gators. Brought him back because he decommitted after the whole Dan Mullen debacle, but talked back him and got him back, and I think he's done a great job up to this point. Now everybody wants to see it on the field, and I go back to why the Florida Gators. Everybody's like, well, we haven't landed these 5-star commits yet. Well, a lot of these guys want to see it on the field. They want to see how Billy Napier performs on the field, how he coaches on the field, how his players react to him, and the big fish want to see that. That's why these 5-star players tend to go to the bigger head coaches because they've seen it. Like Peter Woods going to Dabo, he was either going to be, Alabama or Clemson. Well, they've had an established head coach for years. A lot of these big 5-star recruits want to see it on the field because they expect to go to the NFL. A lot of these guys, especially 5-stars, are expecting to be first-round picks. That's why they're 5-star players. So, once people see that on the field, and if Billy Napier can get some wins early, and I've said this before, if he can get some wins and get that ball rolling, man, I'm telling you, it could be a different game whenever it comes December for, in National Signing Day, early National Signing Day, and a lot of these bigger fish start to look at the Florida Gators a little closely. So, listen, I want to see it on the field just as much as everybody else, but, we saw a glimpse of it in the spring game. I like that offense with Anthony Richardson. I think it's a perfect fit. And just how he, it seems like he can develop Anthony Richardson in just a short amount of time that he had him, in that spring game. Just imagine what he can do. Now he's going to have the spring and now the fall, and maybe going whenever they play Utah. It's a home game. If Florida Gators can get a win and make some noise early, man, I'm telling you that the whole fan base, everything is going to change tune. But I'm not going to hate on anybody. They don't know if he's the guy. I can't argue that because you haven't seen it yet. But, man, I'm telling you, even I was skeptical. Listen, recruiting is half the battle. I mean, especially in college football. Recruiting is just grudging. I mean, you're always on the road. You're dealing with so much. And it's that's just half of it. And if he's done what he's done in recruiting, if he could do that and make a big difference like he's done in recruiting, and he can make that difference in coaching, man. I really like the future. I've seen that before. People are saying, he won't last 3 years, or he won't last 2 years. If he doesn't last 2 years, it's because of the fan base making him get out. And I'll tell you, I love being a Florida Gator fan, but the Florida Gators fan base can be grueling. They could be. Now, after last year, listen, that was understandable after what happened last year. But man, the fan base can be brutal to any head coach, any coach it is. So, I really hope you got to give any coach that comes in, but you got to give Billy Napier at least a couple years, get some recruiting cycles under his belt, see who he's got bringing in, and see what he can do in development. But, if the Florida Gators want sustained success, you got to go with someone and give them an opportunity. Listen, you got to go with the highs and you got to go with the lows. There's going to be bumps in the road for Billy Napier. It's not always going to be peaches and rainbows. I understand that. I've watched football. I played it a long time ago, but I understand football. It's a grueling sport. Things happen, but you got to go with the highs and you got to go with the lows, and you still got to be a fan. You got to, still stick with it. Even if some wins didn't go our way, or, some things didn't happen, and you want to put it on the head coach. But I think what Billy Napier, he's not going to be that guy that the Florida Gators had before. Billy Napier is going to put all the blame on himself. He's not going to deflect blame. I don't think he's that guy. So, what he's done, what he said, he's saying the right things. I think I saw someone in the comment section say Butch Jones 2.0. I won't even go that far. But let's go back to the comments. I could talk all day on that, but but I get it. I get where you got questions, and I understand that. Let's see. O-line and running backs are solid. Some receivers will step up this year, bro. Don't worry too much. Yeah, I mean the O-line. Let me tell you something. The Florida Gators O-line is going to be one of the better O-lines that the Florida Gators have had in a while. Now, that shouldn't be saying much because the Florida Gators have had some terrible offensive lines for years. It's been a while since I've seen the Florida Gators offensive line be dominant. Especially, I remember when the Florida Gators could run right up the middle, wouldn't get touched for 3 or 4 yards because the offensive linemen were pushing defensive line back. But I haven't seen that in a long time. But the O-line is going to be really good this year for the Florida Gators, especially bringing over Osiris Torrance. Billy Napier's guy. That dude's a hoss. So I'm not too worried about that. I like Trent. Oh, here we go, Adam. I like Trent Whitamore. I think he's going to be a top receiver. Trent always seems to get open. It's crazy. A guy, he's not flashy. Trent Whitamore's not flashy. And, he just does seem to get open. And he's a big target for Anthony Richardson. He's coming back. So another year to get acquainted with each other. And now with Anthony Richardson being the full-time starter, without all this flip-flop back and forth with Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson, you have a guy that now can get some reps with each other, and hopefully they can, take it to another level, because they did well last year, and if they can get it clicking, if Anthony Richardson, even with Trent Whitamore, man, I'm really hoping Pearsall, he can get with Pearsall, Frazier, Justin Shorter, like I said, I forgot about him earlier, but the wide receiving core, I think it's going to be okay, so let's see. Our defense will be a strong point for us this year. I see a top 10 defense this year. Our offense will average 37 points a game. We will have a 1,000-yard rusher and receiver, 11-2. So, okay, let's see. I think the transfer from Arizona State will have a big impact this year. I think so too. That is Javier Rivera. What's up, buddy? Let's see. So, I already know who the 1,000-yard rusher is going to be. That's going to be Montrell Johnson. Who do you think is going to be the 1,000-yard receiver? That one, I don't know if Anthony Richardson is going to be that guy to throw for over 300 yards a game. I feel like with what Florida has, with all the weapons, I think they're going to, really moving around. I don't know if a guy will go over 1,000, but if you think so, or if you think there's a 1,000-yard receiver, I want to know who that is, because I'm interested in on that. Let's see. Elmer Turner, what's up, Blake? Much love, brother. I watch all your releases. I remember we talked about how the fans just need to relax and trust the process about Napier. Yes, and that's the thing you got to do. It really is a process, and when you cut that process off short, you never get to see it develop. So, I really think you got to give them 2 or 3, easily 2 recruiting cycles. And, would you count this one? I mean, he hasn't been a whole year. He hasn't even coached yet. But, if you want to count this recruiting cycle and then the next and see how he develops, it's just really a wait and see approach. But what I've heard from everyone, man, I tell you, whenever a whole fan base, I didn't hear a bad word about Billy Napier from Louisiana Raging Cajun fans. That's one thing, I started to feel that whenever I said I was skeptical of Billy Napier. Man, I had Louisiana fans coming in my comment section really grilling me. They were like, dude, let me tell you something. You're not going to regret this. You're going to regret saying that you're skeptical of him. And, that really, I don't know if I've ever heard that from another, coach. Now, me doing YouTube, I've only done YouTube for less than a year now, but even from other people, I've just never heard that. Even when Dan Mullen was hired, people didn't jump for joy about it. I never had anybody just jump out the chair and say this guy was going to be your savior. Didn't hear that. I definitely didn't hear about that from Will McElwain. I didn't hear nobody say that. But let's see. It's not just Gator fans that trip about recruits, but Florida fans are loud about it because we have great expectations for our great school. You're absolutely right, because the rich tradition the Florida Gators have had year after year, especially back 80s, 90s, the Steve Spurrier days, Danny Werfel, Chris Leak. I know everybody, man, Chris Leak, then you go from Tim Tebow, you got the 80s, 90s, and then the early 2000s when, the Florida Gators were making noise everywhere, so let's see. Please have patience. He hasn't coached one game. You're absolutely right, Mark. Let's see. Sports C, who's your pick for the biggest riser out of our current commits? The biggest riser out of our current commits? Denson is one of them. Now, I think this guy gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. Aaron Gates. Listen, I have so much respect for Aaron Gates. And I don't even know if anybody really... He's the one guy that stayed committed to the Florida Gators. He's been committed since 2021 when the whole Dan Mullen thing got started. Listen, I put I didn't say anything on his video. I just posted his highlight video. Listen, Aaron Gates, and I think he's actually been climbing up a little bit. Aaron Gates is a dang good player in the 23 class. And, he's been committed the entire time. That tells me that he really likes the Florida Gators, that he wants to be a Florida Gator. And but Aaron Gates could be that guy to rise in the rankings. I think he's in the 300s right now. But look out for Aaron Gates. Let's see. And I think some people probably forgot about him. I'm not even going to lie. Let's see. We ain't done yet. Nope. Not in the 23. No. We're not even done for this month. I think there's going to be some recruits that I'm hoping like Marcus Stokes. I hope there's a commitment to flip, or someone where I wasn't even on my radar, like Searcy. Searcy wasn't even on my radar. So that to me was a shock. Let's see. How about Creed Whitmore, his brother? You know what? Creed Whitmore, I know they're scouting him for a wide receiver, and I see it. I see the wide receiver potential. Creed Whitmore is kind of like Marcus Stokes. Marcus Stokes is a bigger, he looks just bigger, a bigger frame. But Creed Whitmore, man, I posted a video, I think, on my YouTube Shorts of him throwing a bomb. Dude can throw. Creed Whitmore, yeah, because I think he's a 3-star. Creed Whitmore could absolutely rise up in the rankings as well. If it wasn't for Tommy Kinsler, I would have said Tommy Kinsler, but he just decommitted. Tommy Kinsler, with 3-star offensive lineman, I would have said he would have been the biggest riser because he was rising up. He was in the 700s. But I would hope the Florida Gators try to get another crack at him, but Tommy Kinsler was going to easily be a 4-star offensive lineman. But I could see Creed Whitmore definitely doing that. There we go. My take is this from Elmer Turner. My take is that Webb is the biggest recruit that we have landed on offense thus far. Really excited about his talent. Yes, and he's the highest rated recruit that the Florida Gators have gotten. And then no, I'm sorry. I think it's Eugene Wilson. But yeah, Treyon Webb to me is the bigger, yes, absolutely bigger, bigger recruit on the offensive side. Everyone wanted this guy. Everyone wanted Eugene Wilson as well. But man, people were like jumping on the table for Treyon Webb. Treyon Webb is, one of the bigger gets the Florida Gators got in the 23 class so far. Man, I was salivating at just thinking about ETN and Webb. That 1-2 punch for the Florida Gators for years to come. I mean, because Florida Gators have always ran that, 2 to 3 back, just rotating backs. But man, ETN and Webb, I mean, you got ETN who's a physical runner as well, and then you bring in Webb who's just as physical. I mean, that could be a really good 1-2 punch for years to come. So, ain't going to be no 1,000-yard receiver unless it's Pearson, the guy from Arizona State. That was from Daniel. Yeah, and that would be a stretch to me. That's I can see Montrell Johnson getting 1,000 yards rushing. In my opinion, I think he can be that guy, especially with Napier's offense. How it's how you're spreading everyone out, you're spreading the defense, and then with that offensive line the Florida Gators got, that's the other plus that I got. That offensive line for the Florida Gators is going to be really good this year. Let's see. It all depends on AR-15 starting 7 games. It had 40% completion, 6 picks, and he is not good under pressure. Now, does he have potential? Yes, but haven't seen anything from last year. Yeah, I mean, that's where I come in. Yes, the stats does not reflect his potential. Same thing that I say about Marcus Stokes. His stats doesn't reflect his potential. Now, people have him rated a 4-star because of his potential, but I think he can be higher in the rankings if he cuts down on the turnovers. And 9 turnovers is a lot in high school. And I get he plays in a higher level, but with Anthony Richardson, you haven't seen it. You the potential is there. Now, where you got glimpse of it, the LSU game. Now he threw an interception at the end. I'm not 100% where he was going with that ball, but he had a really good LSU game whenever he got put into the game. And I feel like he ran the play action great. You just saw glimpses of it last year. With the whole debacle with Emory Jones switching in and out, that's never great for quarterbacks. It's just not good. It doesn't work out. Why do you think? Listen, I know Florida Gator fans, we hate Georgia, but let me tell you something. Why did Kirby Smart not go from Stetson Bennett to JT Daniels? Because he didn't want to mess that up. I hate to say it, he did a great job of that. Everyone kept wanting JT Daniels, but Kirby Smart was smart enough to understand that you have to have one quarterback you have to believe in. And he handed the keys to Stetson Bennett. You have to do that because once you start going back and forth, it's never good. The Florida Gators just proved that last year with all that. And I knew it was just going to be a disaster because it just never works out. When you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Now, I'm not saying the quarterback for Georgia, they were any better, but, Kirby Smart stuck with one. He didn't go flip-flopping around. He stuck with one and stuck it out. So, I just wish last year stuck it out with one, let Anthony Richardson just improve instead of all this flip-flopping around. But I understand he got hurt throughout the season, but, I didn't really like that. So, let's go back to the comments. Little Kirby is a wannabe Nick Saban. I mean, he coached with him, so I think everyone wants to be Nick Saban. So they say we are going to have a great month. So who do you see us getting? I'll go back to the 2 I've said. I don't know when you join the chat. Aiden Mizzel, Cormany Mclean are my 2 right now. Once we can lock them up, if we can, I'll start going to other ones, but those are my 2 right now. But Cormany Mclean Aiden Mizzel are my two. That's the one I get. Lucas is another one, and we'll see if we can get him. But man, Mizell and Cormany Mclean are the two I'm just hoping the Gators can land. So Kirby won one natty. Granted, he's better than UF. No, I mean, I'm not taking anything away with Kirby Smart, what he did. I mean, great recruiter. I mean, you saw what he had and saw what talent went to the NFL. So Kirby Smart did a great job last year. Handled the whole, even with the quarterback, everybody wanted the quarterback battle to switched up. I thought, he stuck with who he wanted. He didn't listen to everyone in the crowd. He listened to himself. And I mean, it had to work. Won a national title. I'm not going to – you could probably say JT Daniels could have got them a title with that defense and with what Georgia had. But, he stuck it out. Didn't have that whole quarterback controversy other than what people were making it. But it seemed like Kirby Smart, he knew who his guy was. Let's see. Also, John Walker. Hey, I'll be all right with John Walker. Let's see. Florida season really comes down to AR-15. If he gets hurt, it's going to be a long year. If he stays healthy, it's good. Be an awesome season. It could be an awesome season. You're absolutely right. That I've said that before. That's why when I made my prediction, whenever I said Florida was going to go 9-3, that's with Anthony Richardson staying healthy. If he gets hurt, I've said this a bunch of times, I don't trust the other quarterbacks behind him. Jalen Kitna or even Jack Miller. Hopefully he can. And I still want Jack Miller. I hope he can progress. I hope he can, develop because the Florida Gators may need him. So, just because he might not win the quarterback battle doesn't mean he's not going to get to play. I think he still needs to be ready, so, or Jalen Kitna. Kitna could still be that guy. I was hoping Carlos Del Rio would have stayed, but, I think he understood, 4 quarterbacks. It was probably not going to be much that he was going to do. He wasn't going to get no playing time anytime soon. So, ETN, the next Fred Taylor. Oh, man, I wish. The thing about me, I never compare anybody to Fred Taylor, and I'm not, making fun of you or nothing. Fred Taylor is my favorite running back of all time. In the pros, I could say Barry Sanders. I grew up watching him, man. Dude was a beast. But, because Fred Taylor played at Florida and then played for my favorite team, Jacksonville, 4 years, Fred Taylor was an absolute beast. 6 foot, 20 pounds. Dude was an absolute monster. Got to see him play whenever I went to my first game. I'm actually going to make a video on how I became a Florida Gator fan, but I guess I'll give you a sneak peek about it. 1997, got to see him play. Fred Taylor. It got to play. Actually, I went to see him. It was they were playing Auburn, and Jesse Palmer was making his. I don't know if there's any older people that may remember this. Jesse Palmer was making his first career start. Steve Spurrier played him, true freshman quarterback. He actually got pulled in the third quarter. But Fred Taylor, man, dude ran for 140 yards. He was a monster that game. They gave it to him. He pretty much ran them to victory over Auburn. But, Fred Taylor's my favorite running back of all time. If ETN can even get a half of what Fred Taylor was, because to me, Fred Taylor was just that great. I think he doesn't get the recognition in the NFL because he played for Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's that team that you really don't think about, in the NFL. They're just an afterthought. But Fred Taylor had a great career at Florida and Jacksonville, and I think his name gets lost a lot. Not by Florida fans. Florida fans understand who Fred Taylor was and how much of a beast he was. Let's see. Kirby was 7-5 his first year. Ever since, always won 11 games. Took Georgia natty his second year, losing to B.A.M. in overtime by 3. Has 4 bowl game championships. Top 3 in recruiting and a natty. I mean, and to be honest with you, I've said this before. Georgia fans were not sold on Kirby Smart even after that first season. Even when they got him, they all thought, what was it? He's just another Nick Saban disciple. He's just going to be another one of a bust, and all this. So Georgia fans, Florida Gator fans, don't. If you have, your doubts about Billy Napier, Georgia fans had the same thing about Kirby Smart. So, it's understandable, but, Billy Napier's just got to prove it on the field. Like a lot of these players, they're 4-star players, but they also got to prove it on the field. So, I just have a good feeling. I don't know. I just have a good feeling. I like what Billy Napier's done. So, but we'll see. Even true Florida fans that know college football would say Kirby is the second best coach in football. In college football, let's see. Of active coaches, I think that's where you're going with active coaches. You got Nick Saban. Of course. Nobody's gonna. I can't think of another one that I would leapfrog them over. So of active coaches. So yeah, I would have to agree. Let's see. So nice to see some great players coming in. We coming for Georgia in a few. Absolutely. You gotta build somewhere. You gotta start the rebuild. And after going 6-7, last year, if Florida can improve on that and improve every year, and start to see the progression and what Billy Napier and Scott Strickland said, they want sustained success, and that's what I'm wanting back at Florida. I'm wanting those 10-win seasons. And I don't want to play for the tire kicking bowl game out of El Paso or whatever they're playing. I get college players opt out of bowl games, but I still want Florida to go to a nice bowl game. I don't know how much colleges get paid for the bowl games, or if they win, or how much they get paid. But hey, listen, them bigger bowl games, I'm pretty sure you get paid more. So we need some money for hey, now there's money involved. Let's see. You don't win one chip in 5 years and get that crown. Come on. Just because it's, with Kirby Smart, his track record, I take that in consideration of what he's done. He's just been a good coach, now as a head coach. But, as active coaches and how you look at it, Kirby Smart's up there. I can't disagree with it. I'm trying to think of another coach, that I can put him up there. One can argue Michigan, Jim Harbaugh. But Jim Harbaugh has never been that guy to win a natty. So, it's where, do you go longevity? Because Jim Harbaugh, he took Michigan in the playoffs last year, got beat by Georgia. But, I don't know. James Franklin of Penn State, but the same thing can be said to him. There's some good coaches, but I was thinking of those when I was trying to put them over Kirby Smart. But, Kirby Smart's been to a national championship, did lose to Alabama, and, and then finally, won it last year. So, went to 2 national championships in 5 years and wins one. It's kind of hard to disagree. I think that's the thing for me, because, Jim Harbaugh has got, years of success, but, he's never got it done. So I don't know. It'd be a hard argument for me to argue against, let's just say. Let's see. DeQuavius Sorey is slept on, guys. I like Sorey. I really do like Sorey. He might be slept on a little bit, but I know a lot of people have been talking about him. But I like Eugene Wilson, and I really like Aiden Mizzel. I'll say it again. Aiden Mizzel is that guy, of the guys I've paid attention to, and I've seen Sorey. Mizzel is my number one wide receiver I want. Now, actually, there'd be another wide receiver, and I know this guy, but he's already committed. I hate to say it, to Georgia. Florida had him last year. Raymond Cottrell, the 100 ranked, or I believe he's now under 100. I think he might be 98 or something like that. 4-star wide receiver. And, I really thought he was a lock for Florida regardless. But, Georgia came in, recruited him with their wide receivers coach. Florida was recruiting him with the linebackers coach at the time. And which, oh my goodness, just made me mad. But I really like him. But let me tell you something. Aiden Mizzel, really good wide receiver in the 23 class. That's my guy. I've already made a video on him. I think once I first saw him and Flash on the screen, it's just you just see it, you know it when you see it, and I see something in Mizzel. That's just my opinion. If we have a good O-line, maybe Miller with good running backs could keep us alive. And to Montrell, that's if AR-15 goes down. That's the best hope we can go with. Let's be real. If UF hired Kirby Smart right now, y'all would be ecstatic. Right now, I don't know anybody. Nobody would be mad about that. But hey, Kirby Smart is Georgia now. Florida's got Billy Napier, so it may take a couple years, but we'll see. We'll see where Billy Napier can get the Florida program in a couple years. Let's see. Ryan Day is ahead of Kirby, in my opinion. Kirby just had a chip, but he's not second. Ryan Day out of Ohio State. Let me tell you something. Now, Ohio State has done a pretty good job in the recruiting in the 23 class. Notre Dame has done a good job. Texas, and that was one thing I said. I said once Arch Manning was going to get, once he committed to Texas, watch the ball start rolling in Texas. It has some guys start committing to him, and I knew that would happen. It just happens every year. And once I saw, once I knew Arch Manning when he was going to Texas, and I know Florida lost one guy to Texas that I was really hoping they would get. I can't even think of it now. Let's see. Ohio State never gets over the hump. Ryan Day is amazing, but he got killed in the championship. Yeah, I mean now the thing is, yes, he's made it to a national championship. I'm not going to say it's watered down, but Ohio State only played 6 games to get to the national championship that year. I get it was a COVID year, but are we really going to count that, as a full, because they did get beat. I don't know. I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't put Ryan Day over Kirby Smart. That's me. I never even thought of. I thought about him, but it was more of like okay, there's Ohio State, but it just didn't pop into my head that I would put him over Kirby Smart. But that's just me. Hey, everyone's got their own opinions. I appreciate everybody's opinion. They're going to be different than mine, and I understand that. And it's no knock against anybody. That's your opinion. That's what I like about this channel. Even on the comment section, people will, disagree with me. I am okay with that. I welcome that because sometimes I might be wrong and you may make a better argument. And then I'm like, well, I didn't think about that. So, I never argue with anybody who, I'll probably argue, but, I'll still take it into consideration of, well, I see where you're coming from. So that's what I like about this channel. Nobody goes at each other's throats. I have Georgia fans, Alabama fans, that may make fun of even in the comment section, take a little jab here and there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just a little friendly competition. I think everybody's ready for football, man. That's what I'm waiting for, man. Football to come back. High school will start before college and NFL. I'll go to the first high school football game there is just to go to it, just so I can hear those pads crack, man. Let's see. I understand Kirby when y'all chip in 100 years, but come on, Kirby is maybe top 3, top 5 coach. I'm trying to think of who I would put active coaches. And I'm not active coaches, and I wouldn't put Brian Kelly. That's just me. Maybe somebody will have Brian Kelly. He did make it to a national championship, got demolished. I don't know. Let me know in the comments who you'd put over Kirby Smart, and because I'm actually curious on that now. Let's see. Opinions are opinions, but facts are facts. Let's see. Damn, and UGA doesn't. Y'all won because that defense, bro, and still y'all went 1-1 against Bama. Let me tell you something. That Georgia defense was definitely something. Let's go. Fred, what's up? I know there's a lot of comments, and I'm trying to catch up, but what's up, Fred? Man, I see you commenting all the time, man. You have great takes. I love seeing whenever you're posting in my comment section. What is up, Fred? Marcus Stokes, I'm super excited for. Reminds me of Matt Corral. Marcus is a very good dual threat quarterback. Can't wait to watch him in 23-24. Yeah, man. I would actually agree with that. That's something I didn't think about. Matt Corral, and you know, I could definitely see that. And man, just think about it with Marcus Stokes now having a full year under his belt. Now he can come back playing at Nice, so playing good competition. I think he'll still need a year at Florida, my opinion, because he's still got to get acquainted with it. But man, if he can ball out his senior year, I think he'll start jumping up in the rankings. So that could be a guy, that's on potential. If he can cut down those interception ratio, put his completion percentage up a little bit. He throws under 60% completion percentage. I want to see that a little higher, especially over 60. But man, yeah, Marcus Stokes, I was stoked whenever we got him. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, Georgia had about players all last season, and we had a walk-on quarterback. Yeah, they did have a walk-on quarterback. Let's see. Go down. I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. Fred, 1942, 1980, and 2021 UJ national title years, average a championship every 30-plus years. Good job, Georgia. Now, I get because I see some Georgia fans in the comment section, I want to make this jab. Is it 3 or is it like 2.5? Because in the 1942, you shared that with Ohio State. Does that really count as 3? I'll watch the comments on that one. I do it to Georgia buddies of mine. I was like, you really have 3? They're like, yeah, we have 3. It's like, well, more like 2.5. When you share something, you don't get the whole thing still, right? If I have a cookie, I break off half that cookie. It's still I only have half of it. So you had to share it with Ohio State. But they've made. I understand why it's 3. Because the AP poll was the only poll I think that had Ohio State number 1 that year. But I always come back to I'm like 1942. I highly doubt they were really worried about college football at the time. Yeah, they were battling a war. But I always get Georgia fans. Oh, actually, somebody said that. 1942 Georgia man, please. That natty don't count. Let's see. Dabo is good, but he plays in the ACC, but he is great. I don't know. Whenever you're putting coaches above, I got to keep, how I perceive someone. I don't know. Dabo Swinney just seems like that guy that, he like you could just punch him in the face and you feel okay about it. I don't know. He's got that demeanor about himself, and he wants it to be about himself. Whenever he runs out in the tunnel, I guess some kids like it. I'm like, listen, when they're running out, don't make it about yourself because the camera's going to be focused on you running out. Let it be about the kids. They want to be, on TV. They want to get that little airtime. But when you're running out with them, I don't know. I always hated that. Like really making it about yourself over there clapping. I get Nick Saban will walk out with his players, but the way Dabo does it, I don't know. I don't know. Way he acts, it just I don't know. He makes me mad. He over there pouting. He'll over there cry on the sideline. I don't know. But I can see where Dabo could be over Kirby Smart though. Dabo has 1 or 2, one title. I can't remember. I definitely know he's got 1. They beat Alabama, but I'm trying to think if they had another one. They won that one with. Oh no, he's got 2 because he won one with Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence's freshman year, and then he won one with Deshaun Watson. So I know he's got 2 easily. So besides Spurrier and Meyer, let's see, Dabo maybe only 1, but Kirby is not 2. So and like I said, you can make the case for Dabo because he has been coaching a while, so he's got 2 natties, he's got 2 national titles, and what he's done at Clemson, that one could be a fair argument. I would actually have to say that one could be a fair argument at 2, and I really. That'd be a hard argument to put Kirby Smart over that because Kirby Smart's been a head coach for 5 years at Georgia now. He's got 1. He went to 1, but remember, Dabo Swinney's been to 4, I think. Lost 1 with Trevor Lawrence because he lost to LSU. Lost 1 with Deshaun Watson. So I think he's 2-4 in national title games. So. Stoked on Stokes, I like it. What's up, Fred? Sorry, bro. No, you're good, man. Let's see. The last time Ohio played Georgia, we won. That's back in 1990. Man, hasn't been that long. let's see. McElwain only won the East twice because the East and most of the West was terrible. Now recruiting, he could do that. He brought some good dogs in. He did. Man, I tell you what, people. Oh goodness. Will Muschamp. I know people hate hearing that. Will Muschamp brought some guys in, especially on the defense. And I'm not going to. I mean, not very good on the offensive side, but the defense was top 5 whenever Will Muschamp, because of course he was a defensive guy. But man, you want to talk about somebody that was animated on the sideline, was Will Muschamp. But man, Will Muschamp was a really good recruiter. I would say easily on the defensive side, but man, I remember those defensive days. Man, they were dominant, but the offense could put up like maybe 17 points, if that. So let's see. McElwain thrived off Muschamp's recruiting because Will Muschamp was a great recruiter, and I mean he really was. Like I said, man, that defense they have with him. I mean, and Georgia. I don't know if he left Georgia, but I know Will Muschamp was with Georgia's defensive staff. With Dan Lanning. And that's probably one of the reasons Georgia was so good is because Will Muschamp. Let me tell you something. Will Muschamp gets a bad rap with Florida. One thing he could do very, very, very well was coach a defense. I'll never say he's a head coach, but the dude could play could coach on the defensive side. I would never take nothing away from him on that. Let's see. Stokes, or here we go. Let's see. McElwain, let's see. McElwain thrived off much. Dabo has 2. That's what I thought. I think he's 2 of 4, unless I'm forgetting another one. Because I know he lost to Jacob Coker one year, I believe it was. I know that's a blast from the past. And how I remember that, I don't know. Jacob Coker was the starting quarterback for Alabama. That was the year, was it Kenyon Drake returned that kickoff return for Alabama. And Nick Saban, they did that onside kick kind of thing, and Dabo was over there yelling that he didn't understand why they got it. I was like, dude, they just did an onside kick. Let's see. After McElwain on the boat scandal ruined me with Jim. Oh man, yeah, you're not lying. Let's see. Dabo won't win another natty. He is toast. Ooh, really, I think what. And the experts, I put that in quotation marks.